number 5 says a 20-foot chain weighs 5 pounds per foot, and it's lying coiled up on the ground, and they want to know how much work is required to raise one end of the chain to a height of 20 feet so that it is fully extended. Okay, so we're going to say force equals and it's going to be 5 pounds per foot multiplied by x feet. So that means our force is 5x. So for us to calculate the work that we're going to do, we're going to say the work is the integral from 0 to 20 of 5 pounds per feet multiplied by x number of feet dx. And of course, we can do that very easily by hand, but we can also do it very easily in a calculator. So whichever way you want to do it is fine. Let's go ahead and plug that in. $1,000, and these are foot-pounds of work. Because it's feet and pounds. So like the last one was mile tons. So it's like the distance first. Yeah, but we haven't dealt with, before we were talking about like how far you traveled or whatever. Now that we're talking about work, the units do not go exactly like that. Say it again. Do the units combine? Yes. Yeah.
So work is the combined unit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Uh-huh. Okay, so you need to do these ones on a separate sheet. Okay. A quantity of gas with an initial volume of 1 cubic foot and a pressure of 500 pounds per square foot expands to a volume of 1 cubic feet. Find the work done by the gas. Assume that the pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. So assume pressure is inversely proportional to volume. How do I do that? So that's how we do inversely proportional. Okay, over B. Okay. So the pressure, and this is actually, it's a typo, it should say 2. Shouldn't say 1 and expanded to 1 because that's the same. All right. So if we have the pressure is 500 pounds per square foot, then we're going to say P is 500 pounds per square foot. We're not sure what K is. And then we know that what is the volume currently. What's the current volume? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to multiply the 1 over to the other side. And what do we end up getting?
500 pound feet.
Yeah. We're going to say foot-pounds. So when they do the units for these, they typically do the length and then the weight. Foot-pounds, mile tons, that sort of thing. Okay. So...
I don't know why it would, but if it asks you a question, it gives you the option, and they're in the reverse order, is that necessarily going to be wrong? Or is it just...
No, I don't. There are ways when they come up with multiple choice answers, they don't do tricky stuff like that. They wouldn't have like foot-pounds and pound-foots and have the same number and have you. That would just. They're not. They're going to choose like common mistakes, but they're going to be mathematical errors, not stuff like that. All right, so we've got K is 500 foot-pounds, and so that means that the work that we're doing is going to be the integral from 1 to 2. How did I get that?
You're expanding from 1 to 2.
Yeah, you're going from a volume of 1 to a volume of 2. And then we're going to say 500 over V dV. From this? Okay, so let's go ahead and plug that in and see what we get. And it's a decimal, which makes sense because we got that 1 over V part, so we're plugging all this into an ln, so decimal answers make sense. What do I end up getting?
346.57.
Okay. Cool. And what are the units? Foot-pounds, because this is work. Okay. I'm going to be honest. Work is not my favorite. These, not work in general, but this days of assignment. So, if you have a question, I can absolutely answer it. I know there's some like rough spots, but then also this, for whatever reason, this is hard for me to wrap my brain around. It's not the hardest thing we've done, but it's weird.
It's just the way you address it.
Yeah, and what I will say though is that as far as like what are common multiple choice problems, blah, blah, blah. These are not super common. Like, I've seen a couple of them, but it's not like, oh, you're definitely going to be asked about work. It's like, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Maybe it won't even show up. So I'm going to put you and Steven in a room that you guys can share all the funds you want. And then the rest of us can sit in peace. All right, let me give you the, oh my gosh. Let me give you